Mike, turn your games down.
Hi, everyone. Welcome to another spooky movie episode of Games My Mom Found. I am Mike Albertin, and who's doing a little ballet with me tonight?
I'm Tiffany Albertin, and yep, that's all I got.
Hey everybody, it's Kenneth Sanity, and those are fucking onions.
I am Joe Butler, and I sure hope the guy that I pissed off in McDonald's today doesn't come and eat my throat in the night.
I'm Mario from Barrios Gaming, and honestly, you know, Mr. Rickles was the second best character.
Yeah.
That was the Marine, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So we are here to talk about the 2024 film Abigail, directed by Matt Vitelli-Open and Tyler Gillett, and I don't know who the studio. Oh, Universal Pictures. I think it's distributed by. Is it? I am failing at this. I've never done this before. First time.
It is Universal Pictures, yeah.
Okay, I was confused. There were more names.
It's also crucial to mention that the directors Bettinelli Open and Gillette are part of the production group Radio Silence, who were responsible for the most recent Scream movies, as well as a slew of others. Just fun horror movies.
And I'm sure I'm glad that that Scream series ended on a high note and that nothing else came from that. And there will be no more Scream movies.
As far as I'm concerned, there won't be.
Nope.
Okay. I know. I liked the one I saw, but that was like 5, I think.
I'll tell you off the podcast.
No. We can talk about it on the podcast.
Okay.
Scream series star Melissa Barrera, also in this movie, got fired from the cast of Scream 7 for saying "Free Palestine."
And then Jenna Ortega got pissed off that they fired her, so she quit.
So
I remember reading about that.
Oh.
So fuck all that nonsense.
Yeah.
Why would they?
Because that was like the height of like people being like Free Palestine, and like everyone. This was still when people were like didn't know what that meant, so it was like, oh, if you say that, you're probably a racist, so we're ruining your career, or you ruin your career. Good job.
It just means you're against genocide, but I guess maybe that all didn't come out yet.
That didn't all come out yet. Yeah.
No. That's back then. That meant you were anti-Semite. You were an anti-Semite.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you believe some people should have a place to live. I don't fucking dare.
Okay. I remember hearing a little bit about the Scream stuff, but I didn't pay a lot of attention because I didn't care. So, yeah, there was that. I was like, oh, Scream, that movie that I have no interest in. Oh, cool.
So the directors of that series and one of the stars went and did this lovely little movie, and, well, we're here to talk about it.
And, Ken, what is the plot of this film?
You know it's going to be a bad day when you're a criminal, and the little girl that you kidnap is not just a prima ballerina, it's also a fucking vampire.
Mm-hmm.
So
our group of criminals is going to do their best to make it through the night. After all, how much problem could they have? It's just a little girl.
I like how you say that. It's just a
little girl.
And this was also a Patreon poll that people had voted for this film because we had vampire films. And Tiffany, why did you pick this movie?
Because Ken told me to. Also, it was a very good movie. It was one of the movies that I liked the most out of my series of movies I've seen this year.
Yeah.
Definitely my favorite horror movie that I've seen.
Yeah, you were unhappy with most things you saw this year. But you like this one. It's also weird doing something that came out the same year. Like, this is strange for me.
Next one's Late Night with the Devil, because I actually really like that movie.
Yeah, it's a good movie.
You know, this is just a continuing weirdness that happens because this movie had its world premiere on April 7th, 2024, was theatrically released April 19th, 2024, and was on premium video on demand outlets like Fandango at Home and Prime Video and all of that very soon afterwards.
It's really not a good sign.
Within a couple weeks.
Yeah, just about 2 weeks.
But it is interesting to note that this movie has since become a huge success on streaming.
I'm glad. It also made money in box office, but it made over its budget, but it didn't make 3 times as budget like they want.
Yeah.
So I think horror movies, and I'm hoping like companies learn that for the most part. And this, I'm glad to hear this didn't suffer. And I'm kind of hoping that that's what that is, because for the most part, besides this, I think The Late Night with the Devil had the same thing happen too, where it wasn't a good release in theaters, but like it did really well whenever people like bought it from home. And I think same thing with Five Nights at Freddy's too, which is also a horror movie. But I think the whole point is that I'm getting at is I think people are fine not going to go see horror movies in theater, and I'm one of those people, because like my last 3 horror movie experiences, I have had awful experiences. And like the 3 of them that I've had, the first one I had recently was literally like back in my husband's hometown, where it was like a little small theater, and we went to go see something, and like the people behind us would not shut the fuck up.
I do hate that.
Yeah, and so like I think 2 other horror movies we went to go see. I think it was maybe Scream. We went to go see the new Scream. We didn't have a good time with that because the seats weren't that well. And then I forgot what else we saw, but I was just like, I think I'm done seeing horror movies in theaters, and I think that's what people want now.
I don't see horror movies in theaters, so I can't comment.
No,
I purposely stay away.
Because I have friends, but that like horror movies, but they're always like, "Oh, I'm pissy." Okay, fine, I'll go by myself. I enjoy going by myself.
You do. You don't have to wait for anybody, and it works perfectly because it's why I was stuck at work on Saturdays. I'm like, hey, go have fun. I'm stuck here, sitting here, so go have fun. I mean, so I guess normally I want to do memories, but I feel like besides me, all 3 of you saw this in theaters, or at least before this episode, from the sound of it.
It's my first time seeing it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I saw it the second it came out on the home release, and immediately afterwards, me and Sierra and I both said we should have seen this in theaters. It was so freaking great.
I liked it in theaters.
I didn't see it in theaters, but I also watched it as soon as it became available and said, God damn, I should have seen this in theaters.
I thought you did see it in theaters.
Nope.
Me too.
Okay, I'm not the only one.
I just figured, but I guess you don't have as many theaters where you're at, do you, Ken?
I have 2 within driving distance, and one is extremely expensive and a Marcus theater, and no fucking thank you.
Okay.
And the other one is a classic cinema, which is oddly enough exactly the opposite direction of the Marcus, but they don't get a lot of what I want to see. So
we have a bunch of AMCs around us. That's what we go to. So there's a lot. Like there's one like where she saw this is about 10 minutes from here. 10-minute drive, if that.
Nice.
Not less. So it works good. When I was stuck at work, she could Uber there, and I'm like, okay, I'll pick you up after work.
Yeah. And like 3 times he was like, I'm not done recording. Can you Uber home?
Yeah.
I blame all of you assholes.
She means all you out there listeners too.
I love you.
So I was surprised how I felt about this movie. I've said it on the show before, but I think Bill and Ken are right, or at least Bill said it for sure. Ken, I think you agreed on this too. I'm becoming a horror movie fan slowly, thanks to you 2 assholes.
No, you're not.
Slowly.
I'm surprised you like this because it's got a lot of blood in it.
Yeah.
And gore in it, but not like the tortures.
I think torture is where I think is what's hard for me. And if you're getting killed by a supernatural creature like a vampire, it's also less for me because it's supernatural. I'm not worried about a vampire. Yes.
So it looks like Saw's off the menu. Anything from The Purge.
If it's on that poster, we are doing it. I guarantee you Saw is on that poster.
I like Saw 1. I think Saw 1's a great movie.
Saw 2 is a really solid sequel as well.
I saw that, actually.
I stopped after that.
I did, too. I saw 1 and 2, and I was out.
Hot take. They're all good.
Okay.
Agreed.
But
I have to watch.
I'm becoming better about watching movies and watching horror movies. Like, I'm trying to experience more. But I really do hate dolls. So, this movie had no dolls, so we were okay.
So you don't like Child's Play?
Oh, Child's Play was terrible. But
Terrifier will always be off the menu because I also do not like that movie.
I haven't tried to watch it again.
you fell asleep.
I fell asleep trying to watch it. It didn't work.
Damn, Tiff.
I know. I was like, I don't know if that's a bad sign, but every time I woke up, I felt like it was the same scene. So I don't know what I missed. Chasing girls, the whole scene is the whole movie is what he was doing.
What was that, Mario?
Oh, just it was a great movie. Literally,
Not a fan.
Oh, the clown.
No, not even the clown.
great.
Yeah.
So I think partly like for what I'm starting to like in movies, like this is a movie where it doesn't really want you to root for the victims. at first. Because the victims, the whole idea, like you had said in the plot, is that these people kidnap this little girl, take her to a house because they're doing a heist job, essentially, and they're going to ransom her out. And, like, so right there, they're committing a crime, so you're less, sympathetic for them. But at the same time, I don't even want to say villain, the antagonist is a little 10-year-old girl that then you find out has fangs.
She's great. She's like my favorite villain right now. Or whatever you want to call her.
I would say antagonist.
Sure.
So is this just a version of that fucking ballerina girl from fucking Cabin in the Woods?
Yeah.
I don't remember that part.
Yeah, she had like a face full of teeth.
Yeah.
And I think she didn't really do anything. I just know there's a part where there's a guy in a corner and he's like freaking out and she's just like doing ballerina moves at him and he's like, oh God, oh.
Well, I mean, to be fair, they're all fucked and they know it, so.
Yeah.
Interesting. That is an interesting idea.
It's just, I don't know, it didn't bother me in this. Like,
You like vampire movies.
I do like vampires.
So
I think that helped is that it's not, because, like, I think when it's more like monsters, like Alien, or things that is, like, completely not going to happen, because
it makes
it makes it easier. Like, I have a heart, like, Halloween really creeped me out because that's more realistic. At least the first one. I don't know anything past the first one, but the first one's more realistic.
They're all great.
What about Nightmare on Elm Street? That's not realistic?
No, I'm not worried about a guy coming. I don't like dreaming that much, or nightmares, but I'm not too worried about it.
You do have nightmares.
I do. And then I blame Sandman. So,
Oh, wow.
Ken's heard all about that.
We can skip that part, though, right?
That's my fault too.
Yes, it is. I'm okay with it, though. I have 10 volumes to the right of me, and one more I need to read still. I'm okay with it.
Except it's really not my fault, because you started it before I even came on the show. So
Yes, but I didn't plan to continue it. I also have Sandman #1, but a reprint to the right of me, too. So, yes.
I made a huge boo-boo.
Yes.
I had an edible before we watched this. And I forgot that the plot of the movie involved vampire. So me and my husband spent like 20 minutes of the opening of this movie trying to figure out what the plot of the movie was supposed to be.
See, that's the right way to see it, though.
That is the right way to. That is a good way to see it.
I can't remember what. Sorry, go ahead.
I say we didn't watch any trailers for it either, so.
Good.
I can't remember what the trailers were like, though.
Oh.
Did it show it?
Oh, yes.
Oh. See, that's what trailers are like these days, and it pisses me off. If I see a movie that I'm interested in, I can't watch the trailer.
The trailer of this movie is the movie. I watched it in the car earlier, and I'm like, oh, it's the whole opening scene. Okay, she's a vampire. Okay. Oh, she's murdering people now. Okay. I'm like, why would you give all this away? But I guess you have to.
At least were all the parts in the movie. Because I hate when they put something in the trailer that's not even in the movie, and you're like so psyched for it, and then it's not there.
Alien vs. Predator. Fuck you. Throwing some years ago.
What scene was it?
It was just a scene of like them on the pyramid fighting all the aliens. I got so excited.
And
it's a second. Literally, it's a second.
Oh.
It looks so cool. I'm like, oh man, it's gonna be a badass movie. No, it's not.
What about the Jurassic Park movie? The newer one with Jeff Goldblum. They advertised. Yes, you did. No, who did I see it with?
You didn't see it.
The one with Jeff.
Oh yeah, we did see that one together.
I was like, am I hallucinating?
Yes, you have dementia.
I was so upset because he's literally in there like 3 minutes, and that's it.
Ken, did you see the trailer before you saw the film?
Yeah, I did, and it's interesting. Mario and I actually disagree on this one. I think you need to have the vampire in the trailer to get butts in seats.
Yes.
I think you don't. All I think you need is just, show that the girl's kidnapped a little bit, and out of nowhere they start dying, and that's it. That's literally all you need.
You would get you'll get a different fan base for if you just show the little girl and not show her as a vampire.
Well, see, here's the problem. It didn't get the fan base to come to the theaters, so...
Not my problem. They showed too much.
Like, maybe Mario's idea would have been better.
I mean...
We'll never know.
I mean, like all you might have thought from those trailers is maybe it's like a more violent Home Alone. Maybe we've got that kind of a vibe, but that's about it. Because all you see is her chained up and her bed dancing, but that's it. You don't see her attacking them. You don't see all you know is that they're being picked off somehow, and that she's free. That's all you need. You don't know she's a vampire.
But
I feel like that would.
In the poster says little things or monster or something about monsters.
Well, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Basically, them giving it away was kind of like a marketing mistake, is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Children can be such monsters on the poster.
Yeah.
And
she's
covered
covered in blood. So
Yeah, so you kind of like...
just from the poster.
Yeah.
You could probably get away with it showing it's a violent movie and showing people dying and maybe give off a hint that it's her, but you could maybe hide the vampire thing.
Yeah, you could make it seem like a more violent, more bloody, gorier Home Alone.
Yeah.
I like that idea.
Because I mean, I didn't know. I mean, I knew she was a vampire going in because Tiffany had told me about the movie. I know because it's fine. I know because there's a Funko Pop that I've looked at and didn't order yet, but I want to.
We're going to.
Like, I knew stuff about this movie, and I try to go in every movie that we do on the show as blind as I can. I try not to watch any trailers. I try not to read any plot summaries. I try just to go in completely blind so I have that experience. Well, you didn't know we were going to cover this. I didn't know we were going to cover this. I had no plan to.
Thanks, Ken.
Glad to help.
So, I mean, this just kind of happened.
To be fair, the main thing that I think of whenever I'm like, oh, sometimes you do and sometimes you don't. I swear, I think I'm deja vuing because I think we actually talked about this the other day. Like the joke where Deadpool and Wolverine was supposed to be they were supposed to film it as a fake romantic comedy with Ryan Reynolds and Hugh Jackman. And then apparently the studio was like, if we can do this, but if you do it and no one sees it, it's your ass, Ryan Reynolds. And he's like, I don't want to risk my ass that badly.
That would have been great.
I get it, though.
I do, too, because that's not what people would go to see.
Yeah.
And the same concept, I know a lot of people argue with it, too, which is when I mentioned it, Cabin in the Wood, no one would have seen it if it wasn't revealed that they were in like some kind of simulation.
Again, nobody saw it.
I saw it.
In theaters?
Yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
like
it.
I did, too.
That did not do well in the theaters.
It didn't?
No.
Holy
but
shit.
once it got to home video and to the back then Netflix and Redbox, it got really popular.
And with this one,
I mean, sometimes I think people need that for a movie. Like, where it's at home, then they're more willing to take that chance. Because movies are expensive now, so I get it. I don't go to the movie much, but that's because there haven't been any Marvel movies lately to go see. So
And that's all we go see. We went to see Transformers.
Yes, we did.
I like that. Anybody seen that?
That's not what we're here for. But yeah.
Oh, my bad. Okay, on to the vampires.
I mean, this also movie made me think of a lot of Interview with the Vampire, too, because you have a girl, the vampire.
A little girl vampire. Yeah. Should we, cover the typical vampire rules?
Sure.
So, what? Garlic, holy water, crosses, what?
Yeah.
And sunlight, and stakes to the heart.
Yep.
And, if you blow off their head, that works, too.
You can also cut up in little pieces and throw them in fire.
Oh, well, what did they do in Twilight? Didn't they, break them apart? Also, vampires sparkle.
I think they punched him to death in the pieces. I don't remember that
in
part.
Twilight, they break you into pieces.
They tear it apart and they burn it alive. Or not burn, they burn it to pieces.
They get to burn it in a specific order, too, don't you? Like, you get to burn, the head first or some shit like that.
Oh, no, it's just tear it apart and burn it to pieces. That's literally it. And I hate that I know that.
Hey, I thought they were good movies, but then I rewatched one not too long ago, and it was fucking awful. But
those are cult classic movies.
Was the one with the big battle, and that was it.
Ken wanted me to put that on the vampire list.
I did.
But even that last battle was just a freaking illusion.
I would have voted for it.
Me.
I liked Twilight. I read those books too. So
did I.
I probably
But the last two are awful.
I'm a fan of Twilight.
I've read them. I've seen them. I own the movies. I have no problem with Twilight.
I do like that.
Good. But...
No, the first one's terrible.
The books are good.
The first three books are good. Yeah.
Yeah, I know, right?
So, but with Abigail, one thing that kind of shocked me with this is just how much this movie flows together, where you kind of care for the kidnappers, but at the same time, I'm like, yeah, you're all fucked, and I'm looking forward to it. Especially the fucking dumbass guy that Dean, I think was his name. Was he the one that's smoking and fucking idiot?
Hey,
Franken R.I.P. for Dean.
Man. Oh yeah, I forgot.
I looked it up because it said in memory. I'm like, wait, what happened?
Yeah,
what happened?
This was Angus Cloud's last film role before he passed.
And it didn't it come out a year after he passed?
Yeah.
Yeah.
He was on Euphoria.
Official report is that it was an accidental overdose.
Accidental triple overdose.
Triple.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he had like nasty stuff in his system. So.
Wow. A lethal mix of methamphetamine, fentanyl, cocaine, and benzodiazepines.
He looked.
God damn.
I don't think it was accidental,
That was not accidental.
That
Did
sounds
I take
like a
this one?
trip.
Yeah, let's try it.
but it was.
God damn.
I was sad to see that because we were watching this movie, and then she's like, oh, "Who's this guy?" And then she went and looked it up, and we found out he, passed away.
Yeah, like I like him. I think he's a good actor.
Oh, he
the
played a
role
good shithead.
perfect. Yeah,
He played a good shithead.
I liked him when he's hitting. I don't blame him when he's hitting on the girl in the car. God, what the hell is her character's name?
Sammy.
I like her a
Sammy.
lot.
That's your type, though.
It is. I like Catherine Newton too. I
Why
realized.
did we get married?
I'm not your type either.
No, you're not.
Yeah, Catherine Newton's great in this movie. I think the first thing I saw her in was Freaky.
No idea what
I
that.
forgot that was her.
That is
Yeah.
her, isn't it? Okay.
She was in that Lisa Frankenstein movie thing that you saw earlier.
Yeah, I didn't.
Pikachu.
That movie.
Oh,
Oh, yeah, I forgot she was in Paranormal Activity 4.
Holy shit.
I need to watch the new one.
I missed all of that.
Wow. Yeah. Anywho, like she's great in this movie. She's just great. Period. Melissa Barrera is amazing in this movie as Joey.
yes.
Yes.
Just a joy to watch, be around. My MVP for the cast, of course, has to be Frank, as played by Dan Stevens. My God, that man is beautiful.
He was playing a part all right in this movie.
Oh my God. Like, I love everything he's in. I have not seen a bad movie with him in it yet.
Which I
What about Godzilla the New Empire?
Which one?
Godzilla and Kong the New Empire?
I haven't
What?
seen that.
That was amazing.
Who is he in that one?
No, I'm saying he's good in the movie, but the movie itself wasn't that good
Itself
to me.
sucks.
Yeah,
I like Kong of the New Empire.
Yeah, I like him in the movie. He's
Is that-
great, especially when he gives him basically like the power up in that movie. And that's all I'm gonna say. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of the movie itself. But him in the movie,
Oh, he's the guy he's like the monkey doctor, right?
yeah,
Yeah, that guy's fucking hot in that movie. Okay, yeah.
yeah.
I've never seen any of his movies.
But Ken, you're
Yeah.
forgetting one other person.
Oh, no, I didn't get to him yet. There's actually a couple people that we haven't touched on. We haven't touched on Rickles, the former Marine, played by Will Catlett.
You see, that's your type. You ended up with the whitest guy you could find. Well, maybe not the whitest, but pretty close.
Rickles is a good-looking man.
Mhm.
Yes, it is.
Not gonna lie.
I see what Joey saw. I saw the vision. I can feel it.
And then we got my man as Peter, Kevin Durand, star of so many great things.
I liked him.
Like Resident Evil 5, right? Isn't that one of them, Ken? You were going to say?
Fuck off.
Hey, no. Ken, no. He was the only good thing about that fucking movie.
I liked that movie the last time I saw it when it came out in theaters, and I haven't seen it since, and I'm pretty sure I will not have the same feelings.
He's the only good thing about it. Ada sucks. Leon's a fucking creep. Barry's the only good thing about it.
I do.
And he goes out like a champ.
No spoilers.
Sorry, spoiler.
Yeah, spoilers for a movie that came out over 10 years ago.
We've only gotten one live action Barry, and it's probably the best live action Barry.
It is.
And like Kevin Durand is great in literally everything he's in. He was great on my favorite television show of all time, Lost.
I never watched that.
He was on that?
Yeah.
Oh.
How long did he
This is
last?
his first encounter with vampires. The Strain.
Oh yeah, he was on the Strain. I never got around to watching it, but
He was Russian in that one.
that said a lot. He was Fred Dukes, the Blob in X-Men Origins Wolverine. He was Gabriel in the movie Legion.
Oh.
Forgot
He
about
played
that.
Little John in the Robin Hood with Russell Crowe.
He's also in Real Steel as a douchebag.
Yep. He's in an amazing underseen horror movie called Tragedy Girls.
Ooh. Oh, wait. And one of his best performances ever, Smoking Aces.
Yes.
Brothers.
Never seen that either.
Oh, Smoking
see him
Aces
freaking
is
off
so
in an elevator and
goddamn
everything.
good. Also, pursuant to this show, he played Jason Woodrue in Swamp Thing show.
Yes.
Yeah, it's on my list, Ken. It's
Yeah.
on the short list to get
I'll
to.
watch it with you.
You met the
I
actor.
keep pushing.
It was one of the guys that played Jason that we had signed the poster.
In Boston?
Yes.
Yes, that's right.
The real friendly guy.
He was so nice. It was ridiculous. So nice.
If you guys are wondering, they got to meet Derek Mears, and I'm still upset about it. Because I didn't get to meet Derek Mears.
Could have flown out to Boston with us.
Right? Next time, Ken.
Next time, Gadget. Next time. But those are our criminals, and they're hired by what is his name in the movie?
Lambert.
Yes.
The only reason I remember that is because that's also the name of the Highlander.
Yep.
Christopher Lambert.
That, of course, is played by baddie of stage and screen, Giancarlo Esposito, who is just exceptional in everything he's in.
I was surprised he was in this.
This is a stacked cast. Mm-hmm. Everybody who's not already famous should be. That's how good this movie is. There's not a single bad person in this movie, in my opinion.
No, and it's also a very small cast. Like, if there's no extras, it's just the kidnappers in the house with Abigail, essentially.
Yeah, it's a locked room mystery.
Like I said, it could have been great if they didn't show the vampire twist.
Yeah, but I get it.
But
marketing, you have to. You can't not market something like that, or people won't go, and then you lose you don't get paid.
People clearly didn't go anyway. So.
It made over its budget. It made 40 million on 20 some million. It made 43 million. I think a 28 million budget. That's not, to me, that's not bad.
That's not awful, but they wanted in the hundreds.
You're not gonna make hundreds off a horror film.
I liked it.
Smile did.
Ha!
God, Smile's such a good movie, but that ending fucking blows asses.
Nice.
Great. You do gotta watch it because Smile 2 comes out very soon. I want you to go see it by yourself.
Why?
I ain't going.
Why?
Horror movie. We've seen
just watched a horror
at
movie.
home in the comfort of my own house.
You can't do that.
You know what else came out and I think actually did really badly? Did that M. Night Shyamalan movie Trapped?
Trapped?
Did that do bad?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Because
Trap is really good.
That was another one that they gave away way too much in the trailer because he went completely blind.
And I loved it.
And I was excited for it, watched every trailer there was out there, and then I'm like, this is fucking lame. I already know what happened.
You go into that movie with no trailers, nothing, and it's a good movie.
That's fair.
Trapped did a worldwide gross of almost 83 million, so it did all right.
Okay, because I thought it was weird. I saw the movie come out and I was like, oh, look, Jay, my husband, it's out. And he's like, oh, it's whatever. It's like, okay. And like, it's already out on like digital. And like, I literally, the first thing I opened on YouTube, it's trap ending and explanation. And it's like, oh, way to fucking ruin the movie. It's never watching it.
I need an explanation for the ending. Is that the twist?
It seems like that is what people are doing now, is just throwing it in theater and quick putting it out on digital.
I mean, if that's how they make their money, I'm fine with it. Like for Abigail, which came out earlier this year, I bought it for $10 off Amazon Prime just a couple days ago, and I'm like, that's fine.
I paid $20 for it because I really wanted to see it sooner, but it was worth it.
No, that's fair. I mean, 20 or 10, like, you know, you bought it when it first came out. That's different, but at least, I mean, you own it. Not like you went to the theater and, you know, spent your $15 plus your $20 for your popcorn and your pop. You know,
right.
So
like, and I've probably watched this movie half a dozen times since I bought it. So, like, I'm getting my money's worth.
All right.
I feel like, because I think it's about 45 minutes in before shit hits the fan.
Roughly about that.
Which is good. It gives you a lot of time to, like, see the characters and they talk to each other and they have, like, the little parts because they don't know each other's names and they're going by the Rat Pack's name, which I
love that.
That's kind of funny to me.
It is.
But, like, it's just cool that they don't know anything about each other, and you have a small scene where Joey guesses by the way they acted who they are. Like, you know, oh, you're a Marine and you're an idiot and you come from riches, and like I like how she does that. I was still so upset when Sammy died.
You saw it.
Of course I knew it coming. I was like, I didn't think anyone come out of this movie. To be honest, I thought they were all dead.
My favorite, she came out of the movie.
Same. We had to have Final Girl.
She's a good Final Girl.
Having a Final Girl raises your horror movie up on my tier list of how I feel.
Does that leave it open for a sequel? Anybody?
Yes.
I'm kind of hoping.
There's absolutely, I think, room for a sequel. Is it with the same people?
No.
I don't think so.
No.
Like, I don't think any of the characters need to come back for a sequel for this movie.
Not even Annabelle?
Well, they better film it fast.
Or Abigail.
Well, Abigail needs to come back, but
they better film it fast because she's 15 now, and you give it 3 years, she ain't gonna look the same.
So you say that, Mike, but the little girl who played, what is that movie who played Orphan played Orphan in the prequel, where she's younger.
Well, that was.
That's a prequel.
But to be fair, and spoiler alert for a movie I've never seen, but people told me, isn't she an adult anyway? So it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Or was the actress not an adult?
Yeah, the actress
was the actress an adult?
Yeah.
Oh,
but I mean, she's an adult.
Once you hit an adult, you don't age as much. I mean, yeah, you age, but
she aged. You could tell.
Oh, okay, I haven't seen it, but like I mean, look, Stranger Things, for example. You go from season 1 to what we're gonna see now, and they're gonna look like 10 years have passed because it has, and it's like, oh, it's a year later. Like,
wow, you had a big growth spurt.
With Stranger Things, they can write in a time jump. With a vampire, you can't.
No. So if they're gonna film a sequel, they need to do it next year,
or come up with some lore that explains why she looks older.
Lore's probably fine.
Like, maybe these vampires grow until a certain age and then they stop aging.
Oh.
She had made a comment that she's been a vampire for
thousands of years.
Not thousands, but centuries.
Like 200 years, I think.
Yeah, she makes a comment about centuries. Because when Frank gets turned into a vampire and he tries to do the possession trick and Joey acts like it's working, and she makes a comment she's like, it takes centuries to learn that to make someone your puppet.
I think you could just fucking do that right away. That was
I like these vampires too. I like the idea that garlic does nothing. I like the idea that
fucking onions.
I think that was funny. I like how she didn't know, which also, confirms she came from a rich family where she never cooked before, which is fair, I mean, I think some people that aren't rich wouldn't know what onions, and hey, I think someone that we're used to be related to wouldn't know the difference between garlic and onions either.
I don't know who you're referring to. My dad?
No, he would know what garlic onions are.
I do think it's interesting that this is the second vampire movie we've covered in Spooktober that garlic does nothing.
What was the other one?
Lost Boys.
That has not released yet, sir.
We haven't even recorded it yet, have we?
No, we are, but yes.
But yeah.
Spoiled it for me.
I like that garlic doesn't do anything. I like it that crosses don't do anything. Like in this movie,
that was a good scene.
Peter has the cross and she just stabs him with it instead. Because it makes sense that it's just folklore, that it has no actual effect. Because that's what would happen.
Yeah.
People would make up shit like that and say, oh, this is going to stop the vampires. When it's like, yeah, we know it doesn't, but it makes you feel better. Put the crosses on your house and pray and give us money too for our church.
Pray the vampire away.
I love when movies have it's one of the things where it goes both ways, because you either have a really good explanation or an on-the-nose explanation, or it doesn't work. It's usually kind of one of those three. What is it? Because I think Castlevania explained that cross, because in Castlevania there's other vampires from other nationalities. So when the characters ask Belmont, she's like, wait, why do crosses work on vampires? Even if we've met like Hindu and like Japanese vampires. And he's like, oh yeah, it's because vampires are predators. So if you shove like a big like geometrical shape in front of their face, it fucks with their vision and it freaks them out. That's why it doesn't kill them, but it freaks them the fuck out.
That would make sense.
Yeah, but in some movies, doesn't it like burn them?
Yeah, it just depends on your vampire stuff. I can't remember Anne Rice's.
Mario, do y'all know that Dark Souls vampire game that came out recently?
The Masquerade one?
No, it's like
he's gonna want to play it now.
It's like Vampire, maybe.
Oh, it's not Dark Souls though.
No, maybe it's not Vampire.
No, I know what you're talking about. It's like an MMO type of game, though, right?
It's Vampire. My bad. It's Vampire.
Oh, that's not a Souls-like though. I don't think.
No, it is. You have souls. You have you dodge and you pick up weapons. It's like it's Dark Souls in the way that Lives of P is Dark Souls.
Okay.
But yeah, in that game, when you walk into a guy's like office and he knows you're a vampire, he pulls out a cross and it's like a big glowing like actual cross, and it's actually fucking with you, and it makes your vision all blurry. And he's like, "Get back, beast! Get back!" And you have to actually like tap really hard to try to get close to him to get the cross away. So it's I always love when different things either say, "Oh, it's not gonna fucking work," or "It does work." Give an example. Oh yeah, Stake to the Heart's work in this. It just makes you explode like a fucking bag of fucking blood, which is fucking hilarious.
And also seems realistic for a vampire too.
Mm-hmm.
I always appreciate like the whole idea thing. Because as a vampire, you are full of blood. Because blood is your water.
Blood is
Yeah,
your
but
food, not
like
your
if I get
water.
stabbed in the heart, I don't blow up in a big bloosh of water.
I mean, depends how you were murdered. You could. I'm sure there are certain ways that if you kill a body, it will explode into a giant thing of water.
Nobody Google that.
I'm not going to.
Tiff,
But I'm sure
Tiff.
there's ways to do it.
Tiff,
What?
ready or not? You need to get Mike to watch Ready or Not.
Ooh, yes.
Ready
Yeah.
or not?
It's a movie.
I don't know that one.
I know.
You haven't-
Neither do I. But it's a movie.
Good.
It's great, and it's directed by the same people that
Yeah.
did this.
And
Yeah.
it's
Let's
some
go.
are weaving, I think, right?
Yep.
No? Yay.
Oh.
The don't if I can tell you what the plot without y'all watching a trailer without ruining the whole movie. So the whole point of the movie is this girl wants to get married to her boyfriend, and her boyfriend's really adamant about it. But when they end up going to go see the family's really stinking rich, and the family basically says, "Hey, we have this tradition we have to do where we have to play a game to accept you in the family." And the main character pulls a card that says hide and seek, and it's like, well, what's that? So now she's being hunted by the whole family, and she has to survive till sunrise in order to win the game.
And marry her wonderful boyfriend.
Yes. Well,
Yeah.
Is he
Yeah.
hunting her too? Oh my god, I need to see.
No, he's not hunting her.
I wasn't gonna say anything. I was gonna leave it at that. But yeah, he's not hunting her.
Okay. I'm charming up to more movies.
Ready or Not and Abigail both have an element of a cartoonish execution. Like they're very cartoony.
Yeah,
That helped.
did it.
The tone
did.
shift is really good in this movie. That's probably my favorite part of this whole fucking movie.
Yeah, where it goes from like a hard-boiled crime thriller to just absolutely balls off the wall,
Yeah.
cartoonish horror.
I liked it. And when they were talking about
Right.
Valdez, they're like, Valdez is here. He's the one that killed these people, but nobody knows what he looks like. And all I could think of was Kaiser Soze? That's what went through my head immediately. Great movie. Usual Suspects. Great fucking movie. As long as you go into it knowing nothing
Okay, let's watch it.
and disregard the fact that it has a pedophile as a lead actor in that movie. You'll enjoy it.
It's the Kevin Spacey.
Yes. So, well, it's a good film.
Good guess.
Good guess.
Sorry.
I mean, he was found not guilty, but he's guilty. There's enough stuff. He's guilty. Fuck him.
Watch the
But-
documentary. Sad.
Boy, oh boy, that Abigail.
Yeah.
All right, back to the vampires.
I love we haven't talked about the actress that plays Abigail yet.
She did it so
Nope.
well.
No, we have not. Alicia
should do that.
Weir. Alicia Weir, I didn't bother to look to see if she had done anything before this,
She has.
but she is an actual dancer.
Oh, that's cool.
Nice.
And so is Catherine Newton. So when
that makes sense why when she possesses Sammy that she kind of dances too.
Yeah.
Ah. Okay.
Like
That's cool.
she has done a couple other things, but let's see, probably the biggest one was 2022 Matilda the musical. She played Matilda.
Oh shit.
What? Really?
Yeah.
That's because
Oh,
Matilda busted an ass in that movie.
I never saw the musical one.
Mario, have you seen it?
So
I have not, no.
Oh,
I know
okay.
Sierra has, but I'd never paid attention to it. Only because I'm like, it's not the original, so I don't like it.
That's fair.
If you go in that mindset, then you're screwed. Because I do that all the time.
I loved her in this movie. She did such a fantastic job, and the way she plays innocent and then all of a sudden switches it to
Instantly.
murderer predator, like, it's great.
Yes. She's just brutal. I like the effects too. Like her prosthetics are great because, like I was saying earlier on the Discord, that like her eyes kind of reminded me of Interview with the Vampire, but the teeth themselves kind of reminded me of 30 Days of Night.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're much more lots of teeth, which I don't care for.
I like it.
I think it's
I don't like teeth.
It's a shark vampire.
and that's one thing that I really think nobody talked about is, this movie's brutal. And I think a lot of that is 30 Days of Night DNA.
Yeah.
Because I just watched that movie for the first time like this year.
What?
Really?
And I was like, holy crap, where's this been in my life? Jeez.
It's great, right?
Yeah, I had a great time with that. But like, those are some brutal vampires. And I like a good brutal vampire. Abigail absolutely fits that description.
Also, this movie reminded me a lot of Resident Evil. I kept thinking that, like, when they first get to the house, and I was thinking of, like, what a large mansion.
Oh my
No,
god.
this
Yeah.
movie's actually good. Ooh.
No. I think of the game, not the movies, but like just it had that same feeling to me. Like especially when they try to open the door and all of a sudden all the windows get locked. Like I was wondering when he went to go open the door the first time, is a dog gonna jump up at the door and he can't open it? Like that's what went through my head as a joke.
The first movie's pretty good, Ken.
Disagree.
It was supposed to be a prequel, damn it.
None of those movies are what I would just. Well, no, okay, I think one's a good movie, but none of them are good movies. I like 1 and 2 a lot. Yeah, 1 and 2 I think are fun. Not good movies, but they're fun. You can hear me talk about 4 of them so far in this podcast. But no, it's just something about this film that I kept getting those vibes. And there's one part that did gross me out a bit when Sammy falls into the dead pool. That like, because I'm pretty sure that wouldn't have been water. That just would have been flies. It
depends on how fresh it was.
There were a lot of bodies in there.
I know, but I think it was literally a pool.
It was. But,
it was a pool, and there was probably water, and there was probably some slippage going on.
Excrement, human lubrication.
I mean, I also kept thinking about, man, someone must come in this house. I wonder who the hell they hired to come in here. Like, hey, just clean up all the blood, guys. Don't even wonder why there's half of a head over here or anything. Just clean it up, guys. Let's throw all the waste in the pool.
It's probably one of their henchmen.
Well, yeah, but they might be wondering what the fuck happened.
Okay, so I have a theory about this.
It could be bunnies.
My whole idea and what I want to believe, my X-Files moment, is that this is in the same world as John Wick.
The same exact thing. No fucking joke. I'm not kidding.
Like, I want this to be in John Wick's world, because then you have the people who come in and clean for the gold coins, and that's it. You trust them. They do the job.
Not only that, though, but John Carlos sort of kind of gives up that vibe, and then her dad kind of, what if he's like the real, what's the head of the high table? That guy?
Yeah, that guy.
Kaiser Soze?
That guy.
Not Kaiser Soze.
How do we know?
But like in my perfect world, that this takes place in John Wick's world, because it feels like it could.
Right?
Like the beginning crime parts, stylistically, they look like they could be in John Wick's world. And the beginning of this movie is very much competency porn. Like, it's just people doing their job and doing it well.
Yeah.
Joey's keeping an eye on the kid, making sure she's okay. Frank is organizing everything. Sammy is hacking into things nicely. Peter is muscle.
Yeah, he is.
It doesn't jump out.
Yep. Rickles can shoot. And Dean is a good fucking driver.
Yeah.
So they're all very competent in the movie. And like Mike Tyson said, everybody has a plan until they get punched in the face. And they get punched in the face pretty hard by finding out Abigail's a fucking vampire.
To be fair, I know the whole plot is like, oh, well, they're supposed to watch 24 hours, and there's tons of ways this movie could have gone. And I know they're being hunted, but genuinely, it wouldn't have gotten as bad, or they might have had a better fighting chance if the fucking what's the dude with the glasses?
Frank?
If Frank didn't go in there and get pissed off and question who her dad was.
Probably.
I mean, they still all would have been killed, but I mean, if they would have been smart, they just would have had her tranked longer. Because I feel like if you're going to kidnap somebody and you're just holding them for 24 hours, would it make more sense just to have them unconscious most of it?
Yeah, but the human body can only take so much of those sedatives.
Yeah.
And they don't know that she's not human, so...
Yeah, okay, that makes
So
sense.
how did she have a heartbeat?
Because this is a different vampire world.
Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's...
different kind of vampire.
You have... Whenever it comes to vampires, there's so many... Like, that's why they make this joke in this movie. Like, are we talking about Anne Rice vampires? Are we talking about Twilight? Like, each fiction has its own rules for vampires. I like to believe if we ever had real ones, or if we do have real ones, that the only thing that's going to really hurt them is sunlight. I don't think other stuff would bother them, in my opinion.
And just like Hotel Transylvania, a wooden stick could kill anybody.
Yeah.
Do that.
Like, wooden stick will kill me. Probably. I don't know. I've never tried. But it'll kill most anybody you run into. So that it works on vampires, not terribly surprised.
I do like when they shoot her and she just, she's fine. I thought that was good. They shoot her a whole bunch at one point. They don't know what to do, which is also fair.
Chop off her head. Didn't we just go through the vampire stuff?
Yeah, but they didn't chop off her head. But they also didn't have anything. They didn't really have weapons.
Who do you guys think got it the worst, though? I think Peter got it the worst.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Peter got it the worst.
Absolutely.
Oh, Peter got bitten by the girl, right? By Sammy?
He got bitten. He got shanked by a crucifix that he thought would protect him. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, if anyone buys into that, if I ever found out vampires are real, I wouldn't think a crucifix was going to do anything, because I would be like, yeah, this would have been just a way to sell crucifixes.
It probably was, to be honest with you.
I mean, yeah.
Yeah, but
I don't trust the
believe. You don't believe. So even if you had
True.
a cross, it wouldn't work.
I don't have a cross either.
Unless we're going by the logic of Wes Craven, which is Dracula 2000, and the vampires came from Judas Iscariot, and that's why the cross hurts them.
Interesting.
Was that Wes Craven?
Yes, sir. Gerard Butler was Dracula.
No, I saw the movie.
Mm-hmm. Wes Craven.
Oh, yeah. He produced it. He didn't direct it.
Yeah, big difference.
That is a difference. No, it was directed by Patrick Lussier, who's done some other movies that I'm sure we're going to talk about on the podcast someday.
Listen, it's known as Wes Craven's. Okay, that's I'm
Because it
sticking.
sells better.
Yeah.
It's in the title.
Look at Nightmare Before Christmas. Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas, even though it should be Tim Burton wasn't here. He was busy doing Batman Returns.
Yeah.
Presents Nightmare Before Christmas. Like,
Yeah.
He just heard that too. So sad.
I also hate that movie, but that's neither here nor there.
You're just a weirdo about that movie.
I am. I really despise that film.
I don't know why.
It's a really good question. I also have a friend who like really hates that movie for some weird reason. It's okay.
Good. I'm not alone.
Well,
It's
I'm
weird,
sure
though.
You're not alone at all, but the fan base for it outweighs the haters, I'm sure.
Oh, I'm sure too. But I'm so happy you're not in love with that movie. We'd have so much merchandise if we were. Oh my god,
We'd be
there's
in
too much of
trouble.
it.
We just have one Funko Pop.
Yeah, too. But
So
Nightmare.
yes,
we should probably talk about the lore about Abigail's father,
sure.
Christoph Lazar, who basically is the Kaiser Soze. Pretty much.
Pretty much.
Like, everybody's afraid of him. He's always done these horrible things, and he's got a violent enforcer named Valdez. First
Probably.
off, single name killer, great. Love it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is how you make the trailer work, is that you start talking about Valdez, then you have everybody getting picked off so everybody thinks it's Valdez.
Oh, that would have been great.
That's how you make the trailer work.
Hang on, though. Her dad wasn't Valdez. She was.
Right. But
So
like
isn't
her dad
she
has the killer.
But wouldn't she be the Kaiser Soze then? Because she is Valdez?
Well, Valdez isn't the problem. Christoph Lazar is the problem. Valdez just works for Christoph Lazar. And since she is Valdez.
Okay, fair point.
Yeah, and then you just have I mean, to be fair, you could probably assume, though, as well, that something weird's going on, which would still have a twist. But you could still argue that you could leave the vampire part out, where it's like, oh, it's really weird that, we're being picked off in, like, animalistic ways because, the one guy has his head ripped off, and then you can kind of show what happens to, like, what is it to, which it ruins the death of Rickles, too, but it's whatever.
Yeah, just out of nowhere, he just goes down.
Yeah, and they're like, what could be killing us? And it's like, oh, it must be Valdez. And then that's where you do the fake shot where you have a shot of what you would assume would be probably a guy in a trench coat, but that whole scene's not in the movie. Or you throw it in a scene where they're thinking about what he looks like, and you have it as a throwaway scene like that, and then end up having the big reveal that Abigail is a vampire.
Or just show Giancarlo Esposito at that monitor station that he's at, and hint, oh, maybe he's Valdez. There you go.
Well, I'm
That's
glad
what I
we
was
fixed
thinking.
it.
I was thinking that he was going to turn out to be like he was more behind it. Like I was already thinking that before you find out.
Well, I mean, kind of. Like, he hired the criminals.
Yes.
He
And-
lucked in.
Yeah, like, it's later revealed that Abigail already knows who everybody is because one way or another, they've all screwed over her father. So she gets Lambert to hire them to kidnap her so she can kill him.
She's all about the fun and game.
Yeah.
I mean, if you're a vampire and you live forever,
You gotta amuse yourself somehow.
Get
like
bored.
it makes sense. That you're a predator, so you're gonna hunt your prey, and this is your prey. So we're making a game.
So there's like a whole kind of interesting tidbits that you could see from this too, which is the idea, which it does go into line, which honestly I'm surprised that a line wasn't brought up too, but you kind of have the idea that she plays with her food, which is that a vampire thing, or is she
Yes.
actually mentally a 12-year-old?
Well,
And
it is a vampire thing.
And what is it? Because, you do have a line of dialogue where I think Joey's saying something where it's like, oh, you're just doing this to impress your dad. But, like at the end of the day, it's not going to do anything. So honestly, it's at one point in this movie, I thought we were going to find out that the dad didn't know she was there and that she was doing this on her own, trying to impress him.
I don't know if he knew until Lambert tells him, because Lambert ends up later on when he shows up in the movie, he says that he's like, because he turns Frank into a vampire and says, hey, we'll work together and we'll kill Abigail and then we'll kill her father too and take over. You want to take over their meth business.
Shut up.
That's life goals right there.
In Breaking Bad, he runs a meth business later in the show.
I mean, I wouldn't know. He got me into this, and we didn't even finish the first fucking season.
We finished the first. We're on season 2.
What episode?
I don't know, but we're on season 2.
He just stopped and was like, it's too depressing.
Yes, it is depressing.
It's a good show, though.
It is. Mm-hmm. I was depressed and didn't want to watch it.
Well, maybe I should just watch it.
So I've been watching a bunch of geeks in a show called Big Bang Theory for the 4th time instead.
LMAO.
That was a big sigh.
Yes. You've heard me talk about it a few times now.
A few times.
And it hurts me every time. Whatever. So,
I like it that she plays with her food. I like that idea because, like, I like how at times she acts like a 12-year-old girl. Like, at one point, she's dancing with a headless body. Like,
that.
Like that. That was just.
I liked it.
That was Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer level creepy.
No, that's not a 12-year-old girl.
Well, if he had a head, right?
That's like
okay?
Joker creepy.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you're right.
Like, she's had hundreds of years to become an absolute psychopath.
I'm sure it didn't take that long, though.
But I mean, if you are a vampire, you would have to, because in order to survive, you have to kill.
Eat rat.
That doesn't seem to work very well for vampires.
Yeah, eat rats sucks.
Ask Interview with a Vampire.
Twilight.
So, yeah, he did eat rats in Twilight, didn't he? Or other things like that.
For a while, it was rad.
I believe there's a stupid line of dialogue in a movie where they all eat animals that they specifically find attractive or something. Because I know they said Edward eats lions like an asshole.
Probably a deer.
Yeah,
It's been a while.
Yeah. I completely lost my train of thought.
That's okay, I'll talk. I like one point when they go to the library, Abigail makes a comment. She's like, "This is the room. I don't like this room. This is where where my father changed me." And I was also thinking of like, was he really your father? So that means he was human and turned into a vampire because he can't be a vampire and have you because his semen is dead. That went through my head too in that moment. So I wasn't sure if he's your adopted father and then he's a vampire.
That's what they call the people who turn them.
I know, but I was also wondering if it was a real father too, because it could have been a real father then turned into a vampire, and then he turned his daughter into a vampire too.
Or these could be vampires that have live birth. We don't know. They're different vampires.
Okay. I don't like the ideas of vampires with live births, though. Or do I like the idea of a vampire getting a woman pregnant who's not a vampire, but then gets turned into a vampire that has a vampire baby? I don't like that either.
That was a little gross, too.
Talking about Blade? It feels like Blade.
No, I was talking about Twilight. Blade, she wasn't a vampire. She gets bit while giving birth, right? Or right before? Something like that?
Before.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I like Blade.
Mm-hmm.
But he's a daywalker. So I was thinking of shiny vampires.
See, you say Daywalker, all I could think of was that fucking scene from South Park where fucking Cartman's explaining fucking ginger kids and fucking he goes, sometimes they can come out during the day and they don't have freckles. We call these daywalkers. And he shows a picture of Kyle and you hear fucking Butters go, oh, daywalkers.
And eventually they end up looking like Steven Tyler. It's called gingivitis.
Another scene I really appreciated for Abigail is when they have her in the elevator cell and they think she's contained. And Frank's like, well, who's the one in the cell? And she's acting like, please let me out. Like, I'm like, she's a vampire. She has strength. And then she just busts the door open. I'm like, yeah, I knew she wasn't trapped.
He's trying to get them to do her dirty work for her.
Because it's part of the game.
Or she just wanted them to do her dirty work.
Yeah, but it was also like, do you guys not realize that vampires have extra strength just because she looks like a child? She's not a child. I mean, she's locked into a child's body because that's the curse of if a vampire was turned. Like, Interview with the Vampire talks a lot about that, especially the show, which is also really good. about the idea of if you turn somebody who is a child into a vampire, then they're eternally a child, but they're not, and that's just a nightmare. That seems like a nightmare.
So physically,
But
she matures.
Yeah.
Mentally, and in Twilight, it's the opposite.
Well, Twilight has a thing too as well, where they're like, well, we don't let when people turn children because children's have like, what is it, like a unbearable thirst too, besides the fact that they also act like children.
Yeah, and they don't mature enough to control their thirst.
Oh,
yeah, that's what it was. Yeah, thank you.
I never watched enough Twilight.
Yeah, there's a scene of Dakota Fanning throwing a baby into a fire. It's fucking hilarious.
I've never watched any of the fourth movies.
You could probably keep it though.
Well, unless the podcast makes it happen at some point, which I have talked about for like 3 years now, trying to get Bill to watch those movies, but we'll see.
We should have put that on the poll.
Well, the main thing that you have to remember is that you could always join our Discord, the Games My Mom Found Discord, where you can bully Mike into watching movies. So go ahead and go on there, and everyone
Takes a long time.
to have Mike watch the Twilight series, because I know sure as hell I don't have fucking anything else to do.
Or the From Dusk Till Dawn series.
That's a good thing. But I don't really care for Quentin Tarantino that much.
I have never seen it.
Makes good movies.
You just said you don't care.
I don't care for him, but it makes good movies. Just don't care for him.
She's pretty good too, though.
I just think he's an asshole. That's all.
Okay.
But that's neither here nor there. But no, I mean, movies are fine. I just don't care for them. I think they're overhyped, some of them. So, Dusk Till Dawn's not bad. I think some other stuff I want to mention of like the way they all get killed. I do like that Frank gets turned into a vampire, and I was thinking that because when Sammy gets bit, I'm like, I don't think she's going to turn into a vampire from getting bit, because that's not normally how the transformation works in most things. And I was thinking of Anne Rice, where you get bit, but then you have to drink their blood in order to turn.
It's the same here.
Yeah, I'm glad they followed that. I like Anne Rice's vampires. I regret that I didn't finish reading that entire series. I did read the 5 books, but it was so long ago.
And you know what needs an actual fucking TV show adaptation?
What?
Fucking Start to Freak.
I don't know what that is.
Oh yeah, maybe.
I was gonna say interview. I thought you were gonna say Interview the Vampire. I'm like, it has a TV show with I think 2 seasons out now, and a spin-off show.
Start to Freak, the Vampire's Assistant series.
Yeah. Cirque du Freak's pretty decent with their vampire lore. I think one thing that they basically do is, because technically you should, they say you shouldn't turn kids, but you can. So what they do is that they do like a weird blood transplant, but they only do half your blood for the first round, so you can have vampire powers but not be immortal. And then you can do another transplant to be full vampire, and then you're fully immortal forever. Yeah.
Okay. I was just thinking about it here.
That sounds similar to Lost Boys.
Lost Boys is you're not a full vampire until you make your first kill.
Oh, okay. Well, sort of. Not really.
Close.
I don't remember Lost Boys at all.
I vaguely do, and I watched it a week and a half ago. So
We'll have to watch it.
It's religion in my family.
good movie.
I'm just even kidding. Every single one of me and my siblings and I, we all each have at least one copy of the movie.
We'll save that for another conversation, because it's happening in a couple days from now. So
Yeah.
trying to think of some other stuff I want to mention about Abigail. Like, well, okay, when Frank gets turned, and the fact that like that's what gets Abigail to then work with Joey to kill Frank, because she gets injured, and she even says, she's like, I can't kill him in my weakened state. So I like that they worked together. I thought that was really cool, because Frank was always an asshole to Joey throughout this whole movie. So like having her go against him once he becomes a vampire made perfect sense.
No love lost there.
It feels good.
Yeah, I mean, he deserved it. Like when he finally gets staked, it was great. So was Sammy actually a vamp? Like, did she actually turn?
Well, yeah, I was about to say, no, yeah. There's a plot hole right there, because Abigail bit her, and when she controlled her, she had the vampiric teeth, and she moved, like the vampire. She was drinking, she killed Peter, she drank the blood and everything, and she was still a vampire. But then later on, Giancarlo Esposito says that he has to both give him the blood and drink his blood to make him a full vampire and make him be free. That way he can't be possessed. So there's 2 different tiers, basically, of making a new vampire. One you can control, and one you get the full benefits.
Go ahead, Ken.
Well, plus there's also the creator died, so maybe that saves from the curse, which has been used in the past with vampires.
A lot.
So, like, now that Frank's dead, Joey could be fine.
Because Abigail even says that. She says that to her. She's like, you're fine now because the host he's dead.
Because she's not turned into a vampire. She's turned into a thrall like Sammy was.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that's, a step before vampire.
I do like how they kill Sammy though, when they shine the sunlight on her from the tray like there is in a Zelda dungeon, and it just murders her. I did like that a lot.
So of course. So
You do it a lot in Zelda.
I was also going to say too, you could also probably argue too that Abigail's, because obviously Abigail's been around longer, that she knows that biting is enough, but it takes a while, as opposed to pouring blood in the mouth, which might be instantaneously. So she was planning on biting Sammy or biting one of them and fucking with them and waiting for it to turn so she could fuck with them. Because technically, as she says later in the movie too as well, she goes, it takes centuries to do the cool shit. So it might be a thing too, because I believe, I don't know why I was going to say Esposito. What is it? Lambert basically says he's only been a vampire for, I think they said like a couple years, didn't they? Like
Yeah, because he betrayed the organization to the cop Frank.
Yeah,
and then as punishment, he was then turned into a vampire.
Yeah, that was a time frame because Frank says that his friends died 2 years ago, so it's implied that he's only been a vampire for 2 years because that's when those guys died.
Yeah, because he betrayed. And I do like it that like when Abigail does come out and say everything, and when she says exactly who they all are, I did like that when she says their real names too. I thought that was all like just really like she's just fucking with him so much throughout this movie. She did such a good job.
She really did.
I guess when she's on the stairwell, the banner stand, that's really her doing that. I mean, I'm assuming it's not actually 20 feet in the air, but she was the one on there, wasn't the stunt woman?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Didn't we discuss this? How she's really a dancer?
yeah, I wanted to point it out because I thought it was cool.
Okay, sounds good.
So I like the ballet stuff. I thought it worked well in this. Doesn't she put on her outfit too when she goes and murders everybody? Or was she? No, she was already wearing. Never mind, she was wearing it when they captured her. So yeah, I just really enjoyed it. And then at one point when her hand gets blown off by the sunlight and then grows back, that was
No, that looked painful to watch. Oh my god, no.
I kind of like her screech that she makes. I don't know why. What?
I don't have an answer that you want to hear.
Oh, I don't know why I like the screech. It reminds me of something from Jurassic Park 2.
Velociraptor?
Maybe?
Like, ultimately, at the end, vampires are a kind of animal.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that idea. And I also really like the fact that it's just one little girl killing everybody. Because vampires are not like zombies. Vampires are a thing that they just gonna massacre people. Like, I don't like it when vampires are fodder. But I think they're not fodder. I do like Blade a lot, so who knows what the hell I'm saying. But
Fair.
It was nice that they weren't fodder. That's what I want to say, because I forgot that I really like Blade. I was like, oh yeah, I like Blade, and they're fodder in that.
Yeah.
Fucking that movie's first one's so good.
I do like that her father does show up at the end of this.
Was that a well-known actor?
Yeah, it's Matthew Good.
Don't know.
It's if you've ever seen the Watchmen movie, he plays Ozymandias.
I don't remember anything about that movie, though.
Holy shit.
Yeah, he was in the movie Stoker with What's Her Bucket and the other one.
What's Her Bucket?
That's my new phrase. What's your bucket?
Mia Wasikowska and Nicole Kidman. Like, that was a great movie, too. Like, he's done a lot of stuff.
Okay, I was just curious, because he's only in this movie for, like, a brief...
5 minutes.
Yeah, if even that. And
that's all you needed.
I do like it where, because Joey helped Abigail, she's like, you can leave, and then the father shows up, and he's about to kill her, and she's like, no, she helped me, like, she lives. And I like that, where you can see, because he smell, she's covered in blood, and he smells her blood, and he's like, you should leave.
And it's fun that, they kind of have, he and Abigail have a moment of, well, maybe I should be a better father. Begrudgingly.
Doesn't she say, like, you weren't going to come for me or something?
I think so.
Yeah.
He wasn't going to.
Why did he come? I forgot.
Because Lambert told him that she needed help.
Yeah.
That it wasn't working out. Because Lambert's still there the whole time. He's just in the control room, I think.
Underestimated this group of humans.
That's what I'm guessing. He was in the control room the whole time.
Just watching. Weird.
Well, I mean, supervising it.
What was he going to do? Jump in and help?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Clearly he did.
Well, I think that's what he's supposed to do. That was his job. But, it's hard to do your job when you want to kill your boss. So,
and it's a child.
There's that.
There's a lot of irons in the fire in this movie.
Yeah. Good way to put it.
I do like how Frank, as soon as he gets turned, kills Lambert, like, right away. He's like, you fucker. Like, you betrayed me. You put me in this situation, so fuck you. Like, I like that. I'm like, well, what do you think was going to happen, Lambert? Like, come on now.
On his side.
This guy betrayed all his friends to the cops, and and you think he's not going to betray, to put a stake through you. Like, come on now. So, I mean, they say once a cheater, always cheater. I guess once a traitor, always a traitor. Idea. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
I liked it though. I liked how he just murdered him.
And then
I didn't mind the big explosion blood. It was cool in this.
And then
That's not how I remember it. You were like,
I was, but I still liked it. I just really enjoyed this film. This was a fun film that I was not snapping during, actually.
I think
I know.
I think there is only one bad part to this movie.
What's that, Joe?
So Joey ends up being like, all right, I'm getting the fuck out of here. And she goes and gets in the car and she realizes she has one candy left. And my biggest issue is, fuck, dude, you went through that whole night and I know you're alive, but now you're also flat ass broke.
The candy was in the car.
I thought it was in her pocket.
I thought it was in the car, but maybe I'm wrong.
Because I think whenever she's eating the candy, she takes it out and puts it back in the wrapper. But I think whenever someone comes and talks to her, she gets distracted. So she puts the wrapper in one pocket, but she shoves the lollipop in her back pocket.
That'd be gross after everything she's went through, too.
Mm-hmm.
I was in the car. I liked it better when it was in the car. But I mean, yeah, you're flat broke, but at the same time, like, you're alive.
I don't know. It depends on your position. Trying
Fair.
to get her kid back. So.
Yeah, but even she kind of made the comment that she wasn't really going to.
She did?
There's a comment made in the movie where it's like, you weren't actually going. Well, Abigail's like, you weren't actually going to go get your kid back. Like, don't act like you were. So.
Also, you forever know vampires exist. That's a piece of knowledge I don't think I'd be comfortable with knowing.
Well, you'd be a target.
Not only that, I would not want to walk around at night anymore. I would never let my kids out.
Yeah, you'd live in constant fear the rest of your life because that illusion is no longer there. And these vampires are fucking deadly in this.
Oh, I know we were just kind of skipping around, but one thing that I can think of too is I kind of do and kind of don't like the weird twist where it's like, oh, you guys are all people who fucked with our company. But a lot of them don't really seem like, and I think that's also supposed to be a joke too, where it's like a lot of it's really petty or stuff where it's like, oh, you guys really wouldn't kill people for that. Like, oh, she nicked an artery. Oh, boo-hoo, that happens. You're a fucking underground doctor. That's what you get for going to an underground doctor.
You have to look at it. This is a kind of like a kid. Also, they're just meat patties to her.
That's fair too, yeah.
I mean, I'm sure there are idiots out there going, that pig stepped on my foot when I was in there cleaning up his shit. Cook him first. Like, I'm sure that has happened in somewhere with some asshole on a farm chose the animal he was going to eat because of that.
Oh, don't say that.
I mean, what's happened.
Probably.
So, like, that's how I think you have to kind of look at it, is like, these are just, they're meat patties to her.
That's disgusting.
It is, but that's what, because that is, I mean, if as humans who eat meat, we eat cows and pigs, like, you can't, I mean, if you look at them too closely, like, I mean, I wouldn't want to have a pet animal. I wouldn't eat it. It'd be my pet. Like, that idea. But if you're on a farm, like, you probably have to, like, compartmentalize that these are not, because you're going to cook them or butcher them, but they're not going to be there anymore. So that's the same idea. Like, if it's your food, I guess someone take over. I don't know where I'm going with this.
Okay, back to the vampires, Ken.
Well, I mean, does anybody else have anything else that they wanted to talk about? I mean, we've talked about a lot already.
Yeah, we're almost done.
I think we've covered most of the great stuff.
I just really enjoyed Abigail as a character.
Yeah.
And like Mike said, the makeup was good. Right, you said that?
I didn't.
Oh,
I do think
that?
it's good.
Who said that?
That was me.
Oh, I agree with you then.
Yeah, like, and the fact that she's not just a one-dimensional, ooh, I'm a vampire, grr, helps.
Yeah,
Like, they actually gave her character depth.
Yeah, she had fun. She was upset. She got angry. She cried. She felt bad for her at points.
Yeah.
Good character.
Good actress too.
Oh hell yeah.
Yeah, I want to see more of what she does in the future.
Same.
But she really did give off to me that Anne Rice vampire vibe. I think it was just the eyes though.
Could have
Like
been.
she gave me Louis vibes.
Well, it's also the darkness of these vampires, where Anne Rice vampires are pretty indestructible, which is how I consider a real vampire would. And
no,
many
they're pretty
real
destructible.
Oh yeah, no, they die easily in both books and movies.
can't they? Isn't it just sunlight and I guess fire, right?
Anything.
Sunlight, fire, poison.
No.
Oh yeah, you're right. They do poison.
It wasn't.
If you eat a dead body,
Yeah.
it's poison.
No, hang on. No. One vampire did survive that, and that was Tom Cruise. Yeah. They burned him.
survives.
They did everything but cut him to pieces.
Yeah, but Lestat was born different. Like, he is the I'm born different of vampires.
Yeah, he's Tom Cruise.
Yeah.
I'm thinking more of the books Lestat too, because he goes on to do a lot of stuff in that series. Well, the 5 books I read from what I vaguely remember, but
I have no idea what you guys talking about.
He basically becomes a god.
Does he?
He becomes a rock god, and he gets a new face of Stuart Townsend.
And a literal god in the books. Like,
yeah, because he ends up meeting the devil too in the 5th book.
Oh, it goes further than that, Mike.
I never read past Menok the Devil.
Yeah.
What the fuck are you guys talking about?
The Anne
Anne
Rice
Rice vampire books.
series.
What the fuck?
Catch up.
You never heard of it?
No.
Interview with a Vampire.
Yeah.
But they were
No.
based off of books, right?
Yeah,
That was
there's
based
Interview with a
off of a-
Vampire, Lestat the Vampire, Queen of the Dam,
Queen of the Damned. was good.
something Body Snatcher, and then Menok the Devil. Then she has a bunch of other books that come after that.
Yes.
Blackwood Farm, Blood Canticle. Lestat ends up finding Atlantis at some point.
What the fuck?
Yeah. Like, they're
Good
wild.
series. I enjoyed it. Someday I'm going to go to New Orleans and her old house is a monument thing. You can go. Well, not monument, but I'm going to go see it
Yes.
because Google told me it existed. So I'm going to walk over and go. Oh, look, cool.
Sounds about right.
I just want to.
And what are you going to see when we go to New York?
I'm going to see the Ghostbuster the Ghostbuster Firehouse.
Of course, yeah.
Hey, it has a Ghostbuster sign at the firehouse. Actually, I'm pretty sure what I've seen pictures of. So
Well, we're going to be
They
there in winter, so we'll see what happens.
I'm still going there. I ain't going all the way to New York not seeing the firehouse. You crazy? Ghostbusters. And I'm going to play the Ghostbusters song too.
Oh, my
Because I stand there and get my picture taken
Me
from
and
you.
Brittany going spending money when you're doing that.
You're coming with me, you know it. So we're just not going to go find the Joker stairs and dance down. That's not happening.
Not in the middle of winter. it's
My-
not.
Not anytime.
Mike, please. I will give you any amount of money. Tiffany, please film Mike doing the Joker dance going down the goddamn
I
fucking
would
stairs.
too. Maybe
Falling
I
on my
could-
ass.
I could get him to do it.
If we ran across it, but I ain't going to look for it.
Yeah, if we run across it, you're gonna be like, I don't know what that is.
I would. But all right, anything else to say about Abigail? I think we're about done, so I'm rambling about New York now.
I think I'm good.
It was great. I can watch it all the time.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Shelf Stacker Box. And Tiffany, since this was your idea, I'm still going to say that.
Oh, okay. I'll put it on the shelf. It was a fun movie, and I would watch it again. I kind of want to watch it again right now. So
We own it. You
I
can.
know. So yeah,
Oh.
shelf.
All right. I'll go next. And surprising probably to some people, I'm going to put this on the shelf too. I had a great time with this film. This was a fun horror movie.
I'll mark that day on the calendar.
I'm starting to get into some horror films I just don't really like. I don't know. Torture stuff I don't like, but I also like it when you're killed by supernatural things.
So you're gonna watch Human Centipede with me?
Absolutely not, unless it's on that poster. I'm praying to God it's not on that poster because I do not want to see that.
Mike, I promise you, Human Centipede has aged fine. It's not as bad as when it was first came out. There's a lot of movies I've seen that went to theaters that are worse than Human Centipede. Trust me, it's more funny if anything.
I'm super curious about it for some reason. Suddenly, I just want to watch it.
After you watch it, listen to a song called Red Flags on YouTube. It's an animated music video that's about Human Centipede.
Oh, that song.
It's
And Joe.
terrible.
Oh, yeah, I put it on the shelf. I had a really good time with it. Funny enough, I mentioned it earlier, but me and my husband were not sure what the twist was. We actually didn't know it was a vampire. So, like, our first thought was she was either a robot or some form of witch. But having everything play out without watching the trailers was honestly a really good movie. But I liked it a lot, too. And, yeah, if I ever had a chance to where, like, someone recommends a movie, I would totally recommend this as well. So, yeah, it's totally going on the shelf.
And Mario.
It's a shelf for me, too, because honestly, I might go watch it again after this. I'm not even kidding.
Right. Me too. I really want to watch it again.
It's funny.
And Ken.
I'm going to make it a sweep. It's going on the shelf. Absolutely fantastic movie. It's fun. It's funny. It's got some pretty damn good horror elements to it. If you like horror at all, I think you owe it to yourself to watch this. So shelf it is.
I agree with that. Like, you do. Like, especially if you can go. I mean, unfortunately, at this point, we spoiled it, but, like, this is a movie I would recommend.
Did you not put spoilers in the beginning of this?
Nah, I mean, at this point, I think you kind of know what this podcast is.
Well, you know somebody.
Well, no, I did not. Or I did not put spoil, but again, it doesn't, like, the trailer, everything we said is in the fucking trailer anyway, just about, so, like, it's not, like, you're not watching this movie going, I wonder what's happening. I've seen the trailer, but I just don't know.
I mean, to be fair, I think that's why I wanted to see it. I want to see this little girl vampire tear these people apart. That's what I was hoping for, and that is what I got.
That is what you got, and I feel, yep, I can see you wanting that.
Butts in seat.
I mean, I get it. There's no way people would have saw this had you not advertised it as what it is. I get it. Just that's why I try to go in all movies blind now, if I can.
We already fixed it. We could recut this. We could recut the trailer to make it good. As a matter of fact, I kind of want to now.
Put it on YouTube.
Yeah. Hey, there's not a lot. I mean, there's some reviews for this on YouTube. We've actually done a few things on this podcast recently in Spooktober that have like no presence on YouTube.
Like what?
The Seventh Victim, for example.
Oh,
yeah.
I had no presence on. I mean, a little bit of presence, but not much. And there's a few other things we've done recently had like no presence on YouTube, and I'm like, wow. But
well, are you surprised?
I am a little. Okay, no, not a little bit, because it was the first psychological horror film.
Was it first?
Mm-hmm. One of the first.
Games my mom found. Come for the conversation, stay for the visionary coverage.
And Ken, where people find you at?
People can find my writing on kennethsanity.wordpress.com. Find me on Twitter at Professor Sanity. And hopefully by the time you hear this, it will get closer and closer to my film podcast coming before the end of the year.
All right.
I'm excited for that.
Me too. I'll listen to that one, Ken.
Yep.
Cold burn.
Mm-hmm. And Mario.
You can find me on Facebook and Spotify under Bias Gaming.
Right. And if you enjoyed this episode, over 650 other episodes of this podcast, you can find everything we do on Podbean. We do movies, comics, TV shows, whatever else people convince me to talk about. So go check out our giant catalog if you want to support the show. We do a Patreon. You vote in our Patreon poll. That's how this happened. We do 1 to 2 polls every month, so definitely go do that and help support the show. And join our Discord. You see a link in the show notes to our Discord. And we'll give a shout out to my awesome intro and outro courtesy of Elena at Hell Has Fear. You can follow her on TikTok and Instagram. Definitely go check her out. And also check out A Gamer Looks at 40 with Bill Tucker. And please follow us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, Threads, Blue Sky, YouTube, audio only, TikTok, squirrel videos mostly, and rate and reviews wherever you get your podcast. Helps out the algorithm. And I think that's everything I need to say. So we will see you guys all next time. Bye, everybody.
Bye.
So long.